He has some really cool looking set of dreadlocks, so we're going to be looking at that in today's video. But before we do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you guys are new, because we are dropping dreadlock videos every single week. And the whole goal of these videos is to give you guys inspiration on your own set of dreadlocks. And also guys, don't forget to comment down below who you'd want to see next on this channel. But other than that, let's get straight into it. So I put some pictures in order as best as possible, and starting out with this photo right here with his dreadlocks being a kind of almost green color. And the way he achieved this color is most likely just bleaching the hair and obviously dyeing it green. It is a little bit faded right here. In the photo we will see next, we'll see that it is a little bit more of a saturated green, but we'll get onto that here in a little bit. First things first, let's talk about his hair type. The reason I always talk about hair types on this channel is because the hair type is a clear indication of how someone most likely started their dreadlocks. And with dreadlocks, there is 3 stages for everybody's dreadlocks. There's the initial locking process, which takes figuring out a method. And then there is the budding stage, or the locking process. And then there is the maturing phase where the hair is completely matured. So your hair type is extremely important when it comes to the initial locking process, or the method you choose in order to get them. So if you don't have dreadlocks yet and you plan on getting them, make sure the number one thing you find out is your hair type. And if you don't know anything about hair types, make sure to click the link down below that says what is your hair type, and it explains everything thoroughly. So based on the look of his dreadlocks and the way his roots look, it appears that he has about maybe a 4A, maybe even a 4B hair type. Now with that being said, I would say he most likely started out with a traditional way of getting dreadlocks, and that could be multiple ways. Now I'm saying a traditional route because they look traditional, and when I say traditional, I mean more of a twisting with gel, or possibly doing 2-strand twists. Essentially, it's a method that takes a long time, or I would say a longer time than any other method, like crochet hooking, or for the straight hair, twist and rip, and so on and so forth. Now the reason I am saying that is because his roots are very well maintained, and all of his dreadlocks look pretty cylindrical and all the same size. But to be quite honest, you can really start out any way and make your dreadlocks look this way. You could even start out with sponge rub or towel rub, and then eventually get into maintaining your dreadlocks where they look extremely maintained by doing twisting with gel method. So let's just take it step for step. He has a 4B hair type, started out with twisting with gel. He just continues to maintain it doing twisting with gel. This is a photo I was talking about, to where we see that the green is extremely saturated in his hair, and overall looks really cool. There are a few people we've seen with the green dreadlocks, like Lil Uzi Vert, and I feel that the green is a very popular color. One thing I think is really cool about his dreadlocks is that they are really short right here, but they are fully mature. Now of course there's a little bit of frizz here and there, but overall they look fully mature, which leads me to believe that he could possibly be doing one of 2 things. Either trimming his dreadlocks, which this was a while back, or another thing he could be doing is when he goes in to get maintenance, when they do the twisting with gel method, they could also be pulling in frizz or instantly locking up the dreadlocks using a crochet hook. And that's what I really like about the crochet hook. With using the Dreadlock crochet hook, you can literally instantly lock up your hair. And I'm talking you can do your full head in less than a day. So say you have the same hair type as Baby Joe, and you had about 4 to 5 inches of hair, and it was an afro, you could literally create dreadlocks instantly using the crochet hook from greatlocks.com and get your dreads to look exactly like it looks right here. Obviously with bleaching and dyeing your hair afterward. That's what I really like about the crochet hook, is you can really maintain everything all together, and at the same time, with his hair type being a 4B, his hair could have just honestly matured all the way to this point. But with that being said, it leads me to believe that he started his dreadlocks with his hair being extremely short, probably even around the 1/2 inch mark, which is completely doable with the 4B hair type. Now we're going to fast forward a little bit and see his hair in a longer stage. And one thing I really like is how maintained his dreadlocks have been this whole time. But looking at how maintained his dreadlocks are allows us to see how his sections look. Now it's important to see what his sections look like, because that allows us to see if he started out with completely maintained dreadlocks, because I know a lot of people start out with a semi-freeform style of dreadlocks, and doing that is very simple. All you have to start out with is just allowing your hair to grow up and even just lock up on its own and doing almost a freeform style of dreadlocks, and then eventually just start maintaining it. But with his dreadlocks, it looks like that's not the case. It looks like he started out with maintenance right off the bat. And the reason I'm saying that is because he has a perfect brick pattern on his dreadlocks, and that just goes to show that he's been maintaining it from jump. And it definitely shows, because his sections are perfect, the dreadlocks are all essentially the same size. And the cool thing about maintaining your dreadlocks all the time is that you can do really nice hairstyles. I mean, we could just see how awesome this hairstyle looks. It's very clean and very well put together, and that all is very possible by maintaining your dreadlocks constantly. or I would say consistently, not constantly. Now, whether you maintain your dreadlocks once a week or once a month or even once every 2 months is up to you. As long as you continue to do that, then your hair is going to be just fine. The whole point of maintenance is just so that your dreadlocks don't combine, because if you weren't to maintain your dreadlocks, they would eventually just combine and create congos, which a congo is essentially 2 or more dreadlocks combined into one. So that's essentially what maintenance is for, is just to make sure that no dreadlocks are combined. So maintenance can be simply separating the dreadlocks to make sure that they aren't combining. You don't have to do twisting with gel or all these other methods, you can just simply separate them. I will say that his sections are pretty interesting because they're very octagonal versus square. You see some of the ones in the middle that have more than 4 sides, or almost as if they're circles. And that's just very interesting. Typically you see people have more of a square section, but here it's a little different. And we still see him doing hairstyles, and the 2-strand twists still look pretty good. In my opinion, I think his dreadlocks looked a little bit better when they were shorter, but for me, I just really like shorter dreadlocks because of that stage. And to be honest, I think the locking process is one of my favorite stages with dreadlocks, just because there's so many changes and I feel like you get a lot of growth out of it, not only in your hair, but personally as well, because you learn how to be more patient and you learn how to work with what you got. And that's probably why I received that comment not too long ago. But overall, I think we can appreciate his dreadlocks and especially the process that he went through. And I will say that this is one of the first set of dreadlocks that are traditional, that are also very unique based on the hairstyles that he does and the dyeing that he does. But other than that, let me know what you guys think about his dreadlocks down below. Hopefully they're more positive than the other one I received. Also, don't forget to comment down below who you guys would like to see next. And don't forget to go to check out greatlocks.com and pick yourself up a crochet hook. I also want to mention that the restock on the locking gel is coming very soon, so stay tuned for that. And we'll most likely be opening it up to pre-order because it's going to sell out so quick. So make sure to be ready for that release date. But other than that,